There wasn't in my mind, and I actually, I'll allow my close friends I've tell this to. In my mind, there's not a lot of players out there playing, the second octave of in cross art. Everyone's kind of everyone.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And and then that was the first time you really use that second octave.
I'm more comfortable there than anywhere.
Yeah, and then just the use of getting them.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I noticed or I continue to notice is in my playing is on like a slow blues. Mm-hmm. I spend the majority of the time
up on the second. Yeah.
And I actually have to kind of like force myself to.
Yeah.
And I think the reason is because it was a challenge initially to have a vocabulary in that octave, and so thus I've spent more time working at it.
Yeah.
And so now I have to kind of spend time going back down where I transferred all those licks.
Yeah.
All those licks I was just playing were. That was all from there. I moved up to the second octave. I spent so much time transferring them that I actually became more relaxed in the second.
Yeah. And jumping down, it's come across for me. It's like you in my mind, you kind of get locked into wherever you're playing. And the easiest thing that I found, the easiest thing that I found is instead of landing, it's you have all three, you have the whole two octaves. So instead of landing on the one chord on the first octave, the one octave that you're playing on, jump down to the first octave, jump on the top down, and so
right.
Jump down.
And some great players that do that are Carlos and also Paul DeLay, who you mentioned. A very surprising player. When you listen, I actually have a really hard time, like, if I hear him before a gig, it can really mess up my whole gig, sort of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because his approach is so radically different, but somehow it's very infectious and it kind of gets in my mind. And let's talk about DeLay. Now, DeLay's not an overblower.
No.
But would you consider him a modern sort of player?
I would totally, because what got me intrigued by him is how I learned that he wasn't overblowing, because just the runs he's doing, he sounds like he's totally over a blow playing, and he's a huge jumper. He can, and Dennis Grueling again can hit the 9 and he'd go straight back into the 3 and just one big tongue switch.
And DeLay was doing that.
DeLay does it.
Is he a full 100% tongue blocker? DeLay?
I believe so. Yeah. I believe he totally is. I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, on that subject of embouchure, so you're not a 100% tongue blocker, not a 100% lip purser.
Yeah, I guess in a lot of stuff I do. I guess right now, to be honest, just thinking about how I was playing, I'm switching on and off, and that was just practice.
Would you say you're 50-50 lip
person? I would say probably a little bit more on the pucker player, but and then the 50%, maybe like 70-40, 60-40, because there's just certain places that the tongue really comes in.
What kind of stuff do you say to yourself? Well, this I'm going to tongue block, and this I'm going to lip purse.
Whatever you want to think is like in my mind. It's just like if I want something to sound. I can't say fuller just because, my pucker playing, I believe, is a lot fuller sound. It's just the way I want to articulate in third position is probably the best way with the upper octaves, and then, that 1 6-hole bend, just instead of,
do that again.
Instead of just puckering, with the tongue, you can.
But can't you fake it?
I don't.
That was lip pursing.
Yeah, but when you can think.
Here's tongue blocking. Here's lip pursing. I kind of just slop it up a little and practice.
Yeah. You can lip purse it. For me, I like the bottom kind of the tongue hitting the slap. So like
that's it. That's a prime example. So there is some things that you can kind of fake lip pursing, but you're not going to be able to play it like those guys.
Yeah.
Unless you adopt that embouchure.
Yeah. Or you practice your butt off to try and do that lip pursing.
So what is the advantage of tongue blocking, or like what would in RJ's opinion?
All right.
What would be the reason you would tongue block something? I mean, I think that we're repeating the question, but I don't think we can talk too much about this subject because I think that there's a lot of players out there that don't even know about it. I mean, I was playing for I think I didn't even discover that you could tongue block bend notes until like 6 years ago.
Yeah, and
maybe 5 years.
Blocked as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't even know that you could. Now I'm blocking holes 1, 2, and 3, and I'm playing 4 out of the corner of my mouth. And I'm bending tongue blocking. Now, I didn't even know you could do that until Dennis told me that's what he was doing.
And Dennis was, I believe, besides. I think Howard's all pucker. I think Dennis was really the one who started actually tongue blocking the overblows. I believe. I think maybe there was someone else, but I think he really popularized.
See, I can't even do it. I can't even do that. And there's a lot of players out there that tell me that they cannot tongue block overblow. Now, actually, my harmonica customizer, Joe Spires, is a good tongue block overblower.
Yeah.
He's 100% tongue blocker, but Brad Harrison, who is 100% tongue blocker, can't get his overblows as well.
Oh yeah. It's just practice, like it's just a practice, but tongue blocking, like it kind of allows your tongue to be there. You can practice the speed to be able to do it whenever you want, but like it really keeps your tongue there. So if you want to add the flair. So your tongue's already on it to start.
You don't have
to flutter. Yeah. So that aspect, and then kind of just the chordal playing, just really. You get.
Yeah, I think you
get that bleeding.
That was lip pursing, so I'm trying to imitate it, lip pursing. And here would be tongue blocking. There's definitely a difference.
Yeah.
I would say
it's the back tongue being right here.
It is a little fatter and dirtier sounding. So I have found, and this is just my opinion, that style of playing, as excellent it is for the blues, is actually rather obtrusive and sort of like a bull in a china shop over some softer and prettier material. Mm-hmm. Okay, anything that is maybe not blues or maybe even a real delicate slow blues in the beginning.
Tongue blocking is not the way to do it.
I find the use of the chords and to be a little offensive in a jazzier context. Not so much offensive, but like I said, like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
It's just sort of. And whereas, like, let me give an example. Like, instead of if the lick was just something simple like 4 draw, 4 blow, 3 draw, 3 draw bend, like. All right, I would rather hear. Now, not to say that can't be done tongue blocking. But I mean, the guys that tongue block tend to never ever play that way.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because their tongue block influence is a blues thing, or do you think that we're going to see a tongue blocking guy that plays like us?
I think you will definitely hear a tongue block guy that can do that. But I think the tongue block, it does make it kind of that dirtier kind of a sound.
Yeah.
Just the way he cups, the way he's articulating with his mouth. He isn't just playing the harp. If you listen very closely.